Let me ask you something. Have you ever believed something that sounded right? It felt right, but it was actually the reason you were stuck? Not because you were lazy, not because you didn't care, but because you were operating from a lie. I remember a time early on, I really believed that if I just poured into people enough, then they would rise. So I trained more. I explained more. I showed up more. I was doing calls for everybody. I was doing all the closing for everybody. I was fixing everything. Huh? And for a while, it looked like leadership. But here's what I ain't realized. I wasn't building leaders. I was building dependency. And the moment I wasn't there, nothing moved. See, some of y'all are in that same place right now. You think you're leading, but you're actually carrying. You think you're helping, but you're actually weakening your team. Because here's the truth that nobody talks about. The most dangerous thing in leadership ain't failure. It's believing that something sounds right, even though it's producing the wrong results. So that's what we're talking about today. 5 leadership lies that look like good leadership, but they quietly create weak teams, inconsistent people, and no real duplication. Share this with somebody. This is Good Morning.
Shay just put you in it. You see how I feel?
Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time because we're going to bring the millionaire out of you. Just hold on.
Yeah, man. If you're serious about growing your team, and I know you are, you wouldn't be here. It's the kind of place you want to be every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, 6 a.m. Pacific time, every single morning. This is all about ideas for growing business. Today is a Leadership Thursday. I wanted to approach this from the perspective of some lies that we've all been told. I want to help you break down some beliefs about leadership because, like that story I just now told, man, the most dangerous thing ain't what you know, it's what you think you know that just ain't so. John Maxwell, he's always leaning into this idea that everything rises and falls on leadership. So this morning, let's talk about 5 leadership lies that are keeping us broke. Well, keeping them broke, keeping most people broke. We ain't gonna say us because that wouldn't be the truth. But check this out. Millionaires, here's lie number 1. Here's the first lie, y'all. If I tell them enough, they'll execute. John Maxwell calls this the law of the process. Information don't create action. Empathy, your ability to tie my problems to what it is you want me to do, that creates action. But what you forget a lot of times is nobody cares how much you know about solving their problem until they know how much you care about solving their problem. I get it. You sent the training video, explain the play, and you've even done it for them, but they still don't do it. So now you're frustrated, but the truth is you train them to listen, not to act. You're training them to be in love with information, but allergic to execution. Millionaires, people don't do what they're told. They do what they're accountable to. So what are we saying? We're saying stop teaching more, start requiring more. Because the best classroom is out there in the streets anyway. You can't learn to drive from a book. You can't learn to swim from a YouTube video. You got to get in the mix of action. So you as a leader, I want to humbly challenge you to start basing more of your leading around the action. Because sometimes your feet are so loud, we can't hear what your mouth is saying. We're not watching what you say, we're watching what you do. You don't get what you expect, you get what you inspect. Line number 2, I need to motivate them more. A lot of us as leaders, we start taking on this weight on ourselves like, man, it's the morale. John Maxwell has this one principle he calls the law of the buy-in. What it states is that people buy into the leader before they buy into the vision. We could call that the lie of buying anything because that is what people are buying from you. This ain't a sales Tuesday, but let me remind you, what people are purchasing is the confidence they have in you that you're going to save them from bad decisions. They're not looking to judge the product. They're looking to judge you and whether you're worthy to help them judge the product. People are buying into the leader, not the product, not the service, and not the vision. Once you understand that concept, it becomes, well, what am I doing to look like, sound like, dress like, think like a leader? If every problem in society is really a problem of leadership, what am I doing to become a better leader every day? Well, you know, I'm proud of you because you're right here, but I know what it is. You on calls every week. You know, we're like, let's go. You know, we about to level up. This is our season. And your team is fired up for about 24 hours. Check this out. Motivation is like lotion. You got to apply that every day. But let me tell you what lasts a little longer. Inspiration. Inspiration. This is why you got to do a better job of understanding what your followers are going through. Write this in your notes. Leaders need to understand. Followers need to be understood. I don't care if you're arguing with your significant other, man. You got to ask yourself, who's going to be the leader? Who's going to be the adult? Why aren't you putting your whole focus on, with all you're getting understanding? Millionaires, a lot of times what you're missing is that they ain't paying attention to you yet because they don't feel connected. And until you connect, you can't correct. Until you connect, you can't direct. How are you going to get me to go and do this thing if what you're talking about is I need to watch a video, or if what you're talking about is I need to sell something? I'm not going to really feel where you're coming from until you connect what you're trying to get me to do to what it is I told you that I was trying to do. You got to connect what it is you're trying to get me to do with what I told you I was trying to get me to do. We fix leadership, your HOA look different. We fix leadership, your PTA look different. We fix leadership, your household look different. Hey, listen to me. We fix leadership, life changes. I feel like it should be a way bigger pursuit. Here's lie number 3. I got to do it for him. Maxwell's law of empowerment says only secure leaders give power away. Are you insecure, millionaire? Every time you overhelp, you weaken their independence. I don't know how many of you have ever broken a limb, walked on a crutch. But if you'd have stayed on that crutch too long, I'm going to tell you what'll happen. That muscle will atrophy. Now what's happening with your team? They won't get on a call unless you're there. They won't close unless you jump in. They won't move unless you push them. They won't even show up unless you send them a personal text message. Oh, so now you're the system? Oh, so now you're saying you're building a kind of machine where nothing moves unless you're there? Oh, man, check this out. If they need you to win, you build followers, and you were supposed to be building leaders. Your job ain't to be needed. It's to make yourself unnecessary. My job is to make myself unnecessary. Oh, yeah. Do you have to learn how to do the fries? Do you have to learn how to do the burgers? Well, yeah, but only because you need to train somebody. And you ain't going to be able to train them on how to do the fries if you've never done it. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was getting you to think you're supposed to be an employee when really you're supposed to be an apprentice. Gold ain't valuable because it's rare. Gold is valuable because it's served. Gold is in every electronic component. It conducts electricity better than anything we've ever found. This is why gold is so valuable. It serves. It's the same thing with you. You're not valuable because you're pretty. You're not valuable because you're rare. You're valuable and you become powerful based on the fact that you serve until you deserve. Millionaires, all freedom comes from discipline. But if you ain't creating leaders, if you think your job is to be needed instead of your job is to make yourself unnecessary, you're going to mess up because you're believing a lie. Note takers are money makers. Good morning, millionaire. Here's number 4, y'all. The fourth leadership lie. It's keeping people broke. Here we go. They'll figure it out over time. Maxwell's law of navigation. Leaders must chart the course. You got to stop being so passive. You got to participate in your own rescue. Let's just say I'm talking to somebody and they're a member of the church. I go up to them and I want to talk to them about a program I offer where they can use my program to raise money for their house of worship. Whose job is it to think of this idea where we're going to tie this into King Solomon's principles? We're going to tie in all the financial literacy. We're going to use credit and debt and the story of the 5 talents to get people to open their minds up to the idea they have a responsibility to take dominion over their finances and to be good stewards over their money. Who's supposed to come up with all that, y'all? You really think just because they're the youth pastor, they're going to think of all of that on their own? Well, see, that's another lie you believe that's keeping you broke. They not going to figure it out. A leader is a leader because he either knows the pain or he knows how to create some gain. A leader is a leader because he either knows the situation that you're in, the crisis that you're trying to climb out of, or he has a vision. He has a vision for you and your future. He has a vision so big, your tiny vision can fit inside of it. That's what makes him a leader. He has a bigger vision and he's willing to articulate it. He knows the way, he goes the way, he shows the way. Here's my question for you. At what point is it time for you to become a leader? Now stands for no opportunity wasted. Millionaires, you got everybody on your team doing their own thing. Different scripts, different approaches, different habits, different standard operating procedure, different priorities, different values, and you calling that freedom. You calling that freedom. But let me tell you what it is. It's confusion. Millionaires, what's not systemized don't scale. Confused teams do nothing. They don't grow, they stall. A confused mind does nothing. You're making it so that your whole squad is looking at like a Cheesecake Factory menu. Y'all ever seen a Cheesecake Factory menu? You will be sitting there for 30 minutes trying to pick an appetizer because they have like 300 appetizers, man. Their menu is like a phone book, and a confused mind does nothing. Y'all ready for number 5? I'm gonna give you this last one. We're gonna get out of here. Every time you sow seed, you schedule a harvest. Every time you sow seed, you schedule a harvest. Never forget that. Sow some seed. You can sow seed with your time. You can sow seed with your money. You can sow seed with your vision. You can sow seed with your compliments. You can sow seed with a smile. You can sow seed with some game you chop up with somebody. You can sow seed with helping somebody grow as a leader. Share this. You're sowing seed. Here's lie number 5. My team reflects them, not me. Oh, man, let me tell you the problem with the way that most of us approach these crises that we bump into and these issues we bump into with our teams. Let me tell you what we think. We think we God's gift to them. Oh, you say that ain't how I feel, Hazik. No, I'm gonna tell you something. Your problem is you think you God's gift to your team. You think you God's gift to your significant other. You think you God's gift to your children. You think you God's gift to your coworkers. You think you there to be perfect and point out everything everybody else is doing wrong. You feel you were given to. What if I told you it's the exact opposite? What if I told you your kids were God's gift to you? What if I told you your coworkers were God's gift to you? What if I told you your most irritating teammate is God's gift to you? What if I told you your significant other is God's gift to you? What do I mean by that? I mean, at the point you embrace leadership and you understand that followers need to be understood while leaders need to understand, you're going to get nothing but lessons from the people you're around. And you'll never spell billions without a couple L. Millionaires, there's not a bigger lie in your whole consciousness than my team reflects them, not me. Write this in your notes. Life ain't a window. Life is a mirror. I don't know who I'm talking to, baby. If your team is inconsistent, I want you to ask yourself, are you consistent? We be forgetting that part. If your team ain't working daily, I want you to ask yourself, are you working daily? If your team lacks urgency, where did they learn that from? You got a kid who's lying. You got a kid who's ungrateful. You got a kid that's stealing. My question is, where did they get that from? A thieving boss create thieving workers. Where did they get that from? Millionaires. People don't follow your words. They follow your example. You don't get what you preach. You get what you demonstrate. Millionaires. Weak teams ain't created overnight. They're created through tolerated behavior over time. And some of y'all just realize you've been leading with good intentions, but weak structure. And your team's been paying a price for it. So if you're serious about becoming the kind of leader that people actually grow under, you're going to need more than motivation. You need to be here every morning, set your alarm, turn on your notifications, plug into leadership development, plug into community, plug into mentorship. Because millionaires, either your mind has to expand and match your goals, or your goals will just start to shrink to match your mind.
Thank you for tuning in to Good Morning Millionaire with Hazik Ali. If you love these trainings, share them. That's how we change this crazy world. And as a thank you, Hazik would love to give you the most incredible free gift ever, designed to help you make maximum money in minimum time. It comes with almost $10,000 in pure money-making information for free, just for saying maybe. Get yours right now at MillionaireMinded.com. And you not only get the $10,000 gift, but you're also getting a millionaire note hand-delivered to your email every week on topics from marketing to credit and funding, plus a community that makes success feel normal. To get your gift and your free subscription, go to MillionaireMinded.com right now. Thank you for tuning in to Good Morning Millionaire with Haziq Ali. If you love these trainings, share them. That's how we change this crazy world. And as a thank you, Haziq would love to give you the most incredible free gift ever, designed to help you make maximum money in minimum time. It comes with almost $10,000 in pure money-making information for free, just for saying maybe. Get yours right now at MillionaireMinded.com. And you not only get the $10,000 gift, but you're also getting a millionaire note hand-delivered to your email every week on topics from marketing to credit and funding, plus a community that makes success feel normal. To get your gift and your free subscription, go to MillionaireMinded.com right now.